Welcome to the Lobo Clubhouse. This is an instructional video. Hopefully this will help you guys find your way around on your first couple days. So right here at the entry, this is the irrigation shutoff, and the water meter is right here next to the neighbor's house. It runs right down along the side of the house here to the entrance and then Y's into the property. I'll show you that up here. So the water main runs underneath the asphalt right over to the edge of the grass and then follows the grass along and then enters the garage right next to the hot water tank. There's a shutoff valve. There's outdoor lighting that shines up on the entry plinths. Those are controlled on this side by a transformer in the barn with a timer. I'll show you that. Lights on this side are controlled by a transformer and a timer at the corner of the garage. This light on the barn is controlled with the same timer as the lights on the plinth. And that timer is right inside the barn on the ceiling. There's a little dial right there. That power comes from over here. This is the light switch for inside the barn. There's power here. And then there's a transformer down here with a timer. I usually leave this just on, power on all the time, and then that'll run off the other timer back there. Loft of the barn has its own light switch over here. This water meter outside the barn was deleted when the irrigation was installed. Inside the old tack room is power and lighting, and then the irrigation controller. It's got a water sensor that's just outside this wall. Irrigation controller here, pretty intuitive. Here's the zones. So it's running twice a day now. I usually cut that back in October to once a day, and then they'll come by and shut it off and blow it out at the end of the year. This is the rain sensor outside the barn. There's outdoor lights near the entry, low voltage. There's underneath the driveway right here is a sleeves underneath there to get across. So these are fed from over here. So we also have the drip system. So the drip system goes through the same sleeve right below. This is the timer and transformer at the corner of the garage. That controls this half of the power for that plinth and that big giant roadie. Currently the garage door keypad is coded 3333 and then press enter. The Ring doorbell will have to be transferred over to you guys. I don't know how to do that, but we'll figure that one out. There's a power cord for the fountain that runs off a receptacle in the garden. And that receptacle has switches. It's a 4-way or 5-way switch. It's got the center switch in the office downstairs, turns it on and off. There's a switch in the dining room, the 4th one over, and then there's a switch here in the game room. It's the right-hand switch, turns the water fountain on and off. This is the thermostat for the fireplace. They're both similar. You press and hold the upper button until the temperature raises above the room temperature, and then it automatically lights the fireplace and it shuts itself off. And it's programmable, so you can tell it to turn itself off in an hour or at temperature. So this is the rear drip system going up and around, and this feeds a couple of flower pots that are gone now. Here it feeds this flower pot below. It has a spray nozzle for the garden. Also feeds both sides of these hanging baskets. Outdoor lights, many of these have light sensors on the top, so at some point you can leave them on and they just shut themselves off when it's daylight. You have to experiment with that. Some of the outlets in the Family room right here off the kitchen. Have a switch, so if you're plugged into a lamp, you're able to switch the lamp on and off. This is the whole house programmable thermostat. Behind the hot water tank is the water main shutoff. And on the water tank, if you travel and you want to turn that to vacation mode, if you're gone for a week, sometimes that's helpful. And then this also runs with a circulation pump. At the top, there's the pump. It runs continuously on a timer, so it shuts off like at 11 or midnight and turns on in the morning. If you're an early riser, you may need to adjust that to turn on sooner, because there'll be no hot water in the master shower if the circ pump's not on. So during a power outage, it's always good, you got to come out and check your timers and put them on the correct time so that you're circulating water. But the circ pump gives you that instant hot water, so like in the kitchen you get hot water in a few seconds. Same in the master shower. And then the air handler, air conditioning, heat pump out back. This may have a plug and or just something slowing down the condensate. So right now everything's working perfectly. It's like 85 degrees outside. There's no water on the ground, but sometimes when it's 95, I've seen water on the concrete. This is the main 200 amp panel. That's a note to remind you that in the crawl space, there's another panel that services part of the house. So everything's labeled. And the master, above the women's, or the, his and hers vanity, there's a power receptacle inside there, which is handy for blow dryers, so you don't have to unplug them every time. There's also, this is the programmable thermostat for the floor heat. So usually we leave that off, all summer long and turn it on, but that's up to you. Okay, in the family room, here is the scene setter. So if you look at the lighting, with one button, you can press, like I'll press, you can go all on or all off, or one scene will change the lighting. It has a fade rate and everything for the light, so you can see them change. That's all adjustable. So with it all on, it's really bright. This is kind of an entertainment mode. And then to turn on the stereo, usually there's an iPad sitting here for the controller. Right below it is the Apple TV. So this is the Apple TV remote. You just press it, and on comes the light. Down here, the on button, just press that, so then it lights up. I'm going to turn the lights to full bright so we can do this. Go on the stereo at the bottom, button 3, 1, 2, and 3. So button 1 sets this so you can listen to music from the Sonos system. Let's see if that'll focus. There you go. So that's a bridge. That enables you to do is control this amp from your phone. So if you go to your phone, you could select Sonos, and then you can push play. So that enables that to turn, and then there's a volume. So that plays through. 5-channel speakers, remember they're under here. And subwoofers. 1, 2. There's there's also, turn on the light. So then there is multi-room, which is speakers, and you press either A or B or A and B. And so the indicator is here where it says A, B, or A and B. And so B is the system up in the dining room. So these speakers on both sides of the wall here, stereo in the dining room and the kitchen. And then there's a subwoofer under here. That's got dials you can turn up or down on the back side. And then the whole system in this room runs through this attenuator, which really you set the volume at the high level you want, and this allows you to turn it down. So it cuts the volume, but it doesn't increase it. So switching back again to just zone A would just be this room. You can go to zone 2, which in this room can be controlled by this remote. And just by turning that on, that enables these speakers. So these are on now, those are zone 2. So zone 2, when it's on, has 2 different channels. One is the speakers that are in this room, that's these. And 2, if you push that on, those are the outdoor speakers that are below the deck. So you can choose, you could turn 1 off, 2 on, and just see what you like. You can leave them both on. And then that has an individual volume, so you can turn the volume up individually for zone 2 separately from zone 1. You can get all complicated if you want to listen to a different music on one than the other, but anyway, that's the basic stuff going on here. The next section you look at would be video, where when you switch now to 2, what 2 is connected to is the Apple TV. Apple TV plays through only through the projector. And so then I'll do a quick demo on lowering the screen and turning on the projector. So the projector is pretty straightforward. Just press the button pointed at the projector and the blue light on the underside turns on. And it takes a few minutes to warm up and get the bulb going. So then the last thing is to lower the screen. We have the Screen Innovations screen. Up next to the projector is a tiny hanging dongle, and that is the receptor for the remote control. So I'm pressing the stop button and you count to 20, so it's less than 20 seconds, and then the screen automatically starts lowering. It tests itself for the high range first, and then it lowers. So the projector's warming up and the screen's lowering, and I have Apple TV on. With Apple TV, you can, you'll have to experiment. I don't know if you have one. Get it turned on. So it starts showing. So the only trick here is to press stop when the screen is in the desired position. So what I usually do is wait till it gets to the wood right there and then just push stop right about now. And so then this looks like I hit it perfect because it's centered right on the screen. So that's kind of it for the screen and the projector. Then to shut everything off, it's just a reverse. You just can shut off the projector. And then to raise the screen, it's you press and hold the off button for 20 seconds, and then it starts raising. And when you get up to the high point, a second or so before it gets to the top, just press stop. So the only other thing, I guess, is like the way I have it set now is if we go to button 3, that would be Comcast, and you could set the Comcast controller right there, and you can see right in the back, there's the wires for that all set up, and then that's got the HD cord that'll go to the projector.